First Chronicles 5. There were 44,760 capable warriors in the armies of Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh. They were all skilled in combat and armed with shields, but swords and bows. They waged war against the Hagrites, the Jeterites, the Naphisites, and the Nodabites. They cried out to God during the battle, and he answered their prayer because they trusted in him. So the Hagrites and all their allies were defeated. The plunder taken from the Hagrites included 50,000 camels, 250,000 sheep and goats, 2,000 donkeys, and 100,000 captives. Many of the Hagrites were killed in the battle because God was fighting against them. The people of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh lived in their land until they were taken into exile. The half tribe of Manasseh was very large and spread through the land from Bashan to Baal Hermon, Senir, and Mount Hermon. These were the leaders of their clans: Epher, Ishi, Eliel, Azriel, Jeremiah, Hodaviah, Jediel. These men had a great reputation as mighty warriors and leaders of their clans. But these tribes were unfaithful to the God of their ancestors. They worshiped the gods of the nations that God had destroyed. So the God of Israel caused King Pul of Assyria, also known as Tiglath-Pileser, to invade the land and take away the people of Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh as captives. The Assyrians exiled them to Hala, Habor, Harar, and the Gozan River, where they remain to this day. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. Only Aaron and his descendants served as priests. They presented the offerings on the altar of burnt offering and the altar of incense, and they performed all the other duties related to the most holy place. They made atonement for Israel by doing everything that Moses, the servant of God, had commanded them. Eleazar was the father of Phinehas. Phinehas was the father of Abishua. Abishua was the father of Buki. Buki was the father of Uzi. Uzi was the father of Zechariah. Zechariah was the father of Marioth. Marioth was the father of Amariah. Amariah was the father of Ahitub. Ahitub was the father of Zadok. Zadok was the father of Ahimaaz. Ahimaaz was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Johanan. Johanan was the father of Azariah, the high priest at the temple built by Solomon in Jerusalem. Azariah was the father of Amariah. Amariah was the father of Ahitub. Ahitub was the father of Zadok. Zadok was the father of Shallum. Shallum was the father of Hilkiah. Hilkiah was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Seraiah. Seraiah was the father of Jehozadak, who went into exile when the Lord sent the people of Judah and Jerusalem into captivity under Nebuchadnezzar. The four sons of Issachar were Tola, Puah, Jashub, and Shimron. The sons of Tola were Uzi, Rephaiah, Jeriel, Jemi, Ibsam, and Shemuel. Each of them were a leader of an ancestral clan. At the time of King David, the total number of mighty warriors listed in the records of these clans was 22,600. The son of Uzi was Israiah. The sons of Israiah were Michael, Obadiah, Joel, and Ishiah. These five became the leaders of clans. All of them had many wives and many sons. So the total number of men available for military service among their descendants was 36,000. The total number of mighty warriors from all the clans of the tribe of Issachar was 87,000. All of them were listed in their genealogical records. Three of Benjamin's sons were Bela, Becher, and Jadiel. The five sons of Bela were Ezbon, Uzi, Uziel, Jeremoth, and Eri. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. The total number of mighty warriors from these clans was 22,034, as listed in their genealogical records. The sons of Becher were Jeremiah, Joash, Eleazar, Elionai, Omri, Jeremoth, Abijah, Anathoth, and Alameth. Each of them was a leader of an ancestral clan. The total number of mighty warriors and leaders from these clans was 20,200, as listed in their genealogical records. The son of Jediel was Bilhan. The sons of Bilhan were Jeush, Benjamin, Ehud, Keniah, Zethan, Tarshish, and Ahishara. Each of them was the leader of an ancestral clan. From these clans, the total number of mighty warriors ready for war was 17,200. The sons of Ir were Shupham and Hupham. Husham was the son of Ahir. The sons of Naphtali were Jaziel, Guni, Jezer, and Shelem. They were all descendants of Jacob's concubine Bilhah. The descendants of Manasseh through his Aramean concubine included Israel. She also bore Machir, the father of Gilead. Machir found wives for Hupham and Shupham. Machir had a sister named Maacah. Each of his descendants was one of his descendants was Zelophehad, who had only daughters. Machir's wife, Maacah, gave birth to a son whom she named Perish. His brother's name was Sherish. The sons of Perish were Ulam and Rakem. The son of Ulam was Bedan. All of these were considered Gileadites, descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh. Machir's sister Hamaleketh gave birth to Ishtod, Abiezer, and Mela. The sons of Shemitah were Ahian, Shechem, Likhi, and Aniam. The descendants of Ephraim were Shuthelah, Bered, Tahath, Elidah, Tahath, Zabad, Shuthelah, Ezer, and Eliad. These two were killed trying to steal livestock from the local farmers near Gath. Their father Ephraim mourned for them a long time, and his relatives came to comfort him. Afterward, Ephraim slept with his wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. Ephraim named him Beriah because of the tragedy his family had suffered. He had a daughter named Shira. She built the towns of Lower and Upper Beth Horon and Uz and Shira. The descendants of Ephraim included Repha, Resheph, Tela, Tahan, Ladan, Amihud, Elishama, Nun, and Joshua. The descendants of Ephraim lived in the territory that included Bethel and its surrounding towns to the south, Naran to the east, Gezer and its villages to the west, and Shechem and its surrounding villages to the north, as far as Aiah and its towns. Along the border of Manasseh were the towns of Bethshan, Tanakh, Megiddo, Dor, and their surrounding villages. The descendants of Joseph, son of Israel, lived in these towns. The sons of Asher were Imnah, Ishva, Ishvi, and Beriah. They had a sister named Sarah. The sons of Beriah were Heber and Malchiel, the father of Birzeth. The sons of Heber were Japhlet, Shomer, and Hotham. They had a sister named Shua. The sons of Japhlet were Pasak, Bimhal, and Ashvath. The sons of Shomer were Ahi, Roga, Huba, and Aram. The sons of his brother Elam were Zophah, Imnah, Shelish, and Amal. The sons of Zophah were Shua, Harifer, Shaul, Beri, Imrah, Bezer, Hod, Shammah, Shilshah, Ithran, and Bera. The sons of Jether were Jephunneh, Pispa, and Era. The sons of Ula were Ara, Haniel, and Rizia. Each of these descendants of Asher was the head of an ancestral clan. They were all select men, mighty warriors, and outstanding leaders. The total number of men available for military service was 26,000, as listed in their genealogical records. Benjamin's first son was Bela. The second was Ashbel. The third was Era, and the fourth was Noha, and the fifth was Rapha. The sons of Bela were Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ohoa, Gera, Shephufan, and Huram. The sons of Ehud, leaders of the clans at Geba, were exiled to Manahath. Ehud's sons were Naaman, Ahijah, and Gera. Gera, who led them into exile, was the father of Uzzah and Ahu. After Shaharaim divorced his wives, Husham and Bera, he had children in the land of Moab. His wife Hodesh gave birth to Jobab, Zibiah, Misha, Malcolm, Jeus, Sakia, and Mirma. These sons all became leaders of clans. Shaharaim's wife, Husham, had already given birth to Abihud and Elpal. The sons of Elpal were Eber, Misham, Shemed, who built the towns of Ono and Lod, and their nearby villages, Beriah and Shema. They were the leaders of the clans living in Ahijalan, and they drove out the inhabitants of Gath. Ahio, Sheshach, Jeremoth, Zebediah, Arid, Eder, Michael, Ishpa, and Joha were the sons of Beriah. Zebediah, Meshullam, Hizki, Heber, Ishmerai, Isliah, and Jobab were the sons of Elpal. Jacob, Zikri, Zabdi, Elani, Zilithai, Eliel, Adiah, Beriah, and Shimrath were the sons of Shimri. Ishpan, Eber, Elio, Abdon, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Anathajah, Ifdiah, and Peniel were the sons of Sheshach. Shemshiriah, Shariah, Athaliah, Jerishiah, Elijah, and Zikri were the sons of Jehoram. These were the leaders of the ancestral clans. They were listed in their genealogical records, and they all lived in Jerusalem.